Time flows like a river into a dark chasm, leaving us prone to its mercy and, on occasion, its lack thereof.
The answer we get most is, we don't know and maybe. Where Paul will go and where he'll end up, we don't know.
On a dark desert highway,
A guitar-wielding Paul Fahnestock, like many a man, spent time prone to its whims.
Phone call was about 5:30 in the morning. He wasn't expected to make it through surgery. It was very touch and go for the first several weeks, I would say.
He had spent much of his night at a bar drinking with a friend.
1, 2, 3, up.
That was a year and a half ago.
And over.
A single step hasn't flowed from his body since.
Doesn't even seem real when it happens.
Push, push, push.
It has to be a mistake.
And back.
He has a head injury. We don't know how.
His parents call it a gap in time.
I mean, you can drive yourself insane, running through all the scenarios in your head of what happened at that moment.
That moment. It was as dark as any chasm they had ever encountered.
The first thing they told us was that his head injury was unsurvivable, is the word they used.
1.7 million Americans suffer a traumatic brain injury every year. Only a few will suffer one more serious than Paul's.
They just said it was a massive force.
The skin was never open. Wow. Skin was always intact, so he didn't even have an open wound. Other than the inside of his skull being fractured, he was perfect. How about a little bit of this for now?
6 months is a long time for a coma to persist. He will not be the same, doctors warned. He will not speak. He will not eat on his own. Not long after he woke, a family camera recorded an event once thought impossible.
He's all laughing about it.
His smirk told them Paul was still there, still inside.
Some of the doctors said there's no one in there. Obviously they were wrong. He is completely in there.
Let's go back in time to July 2nd, 2012, in the Village Pub on Huron, if just for a moment, in order to fill in some of the gap.
They called and told us Paul was struck by a car.
He was in the middle of the road, after all, but the police report revealed something else.
Maybe later that evening that the police came and said that he probably was not hit by a car and that they were investigating an attempted homicide.
As a Thornton police officer discovered, the car, the one that stopped that night after the driver thought she hit something, had no indication that the vehicle ran over the victim.
Bite in. Pay attention to that bite in your mouth the whole time.
Paul's case became an attempted homicide case, if ever so briefly.
Bite. Nice.
Later, police would return to the original theory that a drunk Paul Fahnestock was hit by a car on Huron. These days, they tell us their case is closed.
It's strange. It's like, you don't know. What? How do you not know?
Chin to chest.
Paul's parents have doubt.
Use your head too.
How could police blame a car that showed zero sign of hitting him? But here's the thing.
So Paul asks us now what happened, and we can't tell him, and we ask him what happened, and he can't tell us. And so most likely it probably will always be a mystery.
The one person they know witnessed everything can't recall a thing, although these days he can do something doctors once predicted he would never do.
What happened to you? I don't know.
I don't know either.
You don't know either?
I don't.
Especially from February.
Can't remember?
It's a long period.
I don't know.
You expect it to resolve.
Sucks so bad.
Well, I think that it's probably going to...
It sucks?
Yeah.
What does?
We just need
Not
to
knowing.
explain.
Not knowing. Those who love Paul say it's better than not living.
How many times have you seen B.B. King?
7 or 8.
7 or 8 times?
Yeah.
And so the love of music as well as the gap remain.
We know where he was found. We know when. We just don't know how.
And time continues to flow. But maybe not into that dark chasm they once feared.
He defied all odds, and he's done it over and over again through this whole journey.
the dark desert highway.
With photojournalist Michael Driver,
Wind in my head.
Chris Vanderveen,
Warm smell like a lead dust.
9 News.
I love you so much too, Paul.
Up ahead in the distance.